This is Celebrity Psych Test, where we probe the personalities of famous faces.
Are you ready to take the test?
I am so excited.
As they answer a series of statements in our tailor-made test.
Don't really care about other people.
Our very own psych tester is going to analyse their answers.
This is like a school report on life.
And give them the very revealing results.
You are suspicious, competitive, and have less empathy for other people.
Can't have too much empathy because no one has empathy back.
How well do they know themselves?
You have to live in this body, so surely you want to know everything about yourself, and this is the way to find out everything about yourself.
How well do you know them?
Most people will look at me and just think, he's going to be a nightmare.
We're about...
Yes!
...to find out. Who's facing questions in the chair today? It's telly presenter and journalist Anna Richardson.
I think other people would see my personality as a complete pain in the arse. I can be very difficult, I can be very challenging, and I'm okay with that.
And record-breaking Olympic gold medal winning athlete Dame Kelly Holmes.
A little bit nervous, but also looking forward to seeing what the outcomes are.
Well, before the outcomes, we've got the test. Get yourselves all comfy and we'll crack on with it.
Are you ready to take the test?
I am ready to take the test.
I think so.
I don't like being the centre of attention.
Agree. If you've got 1,000 people when you're talking and you're standing on stage, you're totally the centre of attention. But it's because I'm doing it as a motivational speaker, trying to inspire people, as opposed to if I was sitting in the crowd and thinking I've got to jump on that stage and make sure everyone sees me.
I do like to be the centre of attention, clearly. I mean, I'm the middle child, for goodness sake. I had to fight for attention in my family. I had to fight for attention when I went to school. Look at my job. I'm a presenter. I'm a professional gob. So I'm happy to be the centre of attention as long as it's for the right reasons.
You can absolutely do the right thing by people all of the time.
Yeah, I agree. It's a natural thing to do, isn't it?
No, I disagree. You can't do the right thing by people all the time. You might try, without sort of going into too much detail. I intervened with a friend that I thought was struggling, and it has created a rift in a 25-year relationship.
I am always forgetting where I put things.
This one I'll have to strongly agree with. I'm terrible. Keys, phone, credit cards. I must have ordered about 5 in the last 4 months.
Strongly disagree. I was sent away to boarding school, and when you are with other kids your age 24/7, things go missing. I needed to understand where my things were and that they were safe and protected, and therefore I was safe and protected. So I know at all times where my things are. Touch my mascara, I will kill you.
I work on the assumption most people have a nasty side which they will reveal at some point.
Yeah, I agree. I do work on the assumption that at some point somebody is gonna reveal more negative aspects to their personality, of course.
Disagree. If you go in that vein, then just kind of always going to look negative at everything and everyone. Have to assume they're good.
I have a sharp tongue.
Neutral. I mean, I get annoyed with things. Probably not allowed to swear.
Calling my mother a... No, I'm joking.
Depends who you're with. If it's your friends, your family, then you probably say things a little bit sharper than you would to other people.
If my buttons are pushed, then I can be extremely cutting, and that's a defensive thing. So yes, I have a sharp tongue, I agree.
I think it is difficult to become a success without taking shortcuts.
Taking shortcuts? No, I disagree with that.
I strongly disagree. Things take a long time. If it's worth going for, you have to do what you've got to do. You work hard, focus, self-belief. Sometimes that can take a long time, as I know.
I always follow my own well-organised daily schedule.
My PA is brilliant. So she'll literally put everything in my diary, put all the times, the dates, the briefing sheets and everything. And I get to that day, haven't looked at anything, I'll have to call her and say, where am I meant to go, what am I meant to do? All I need to do is look at the schedule ahead of time, but of course I don't.
I'm a freelance. So, you know, the only schedule I have really is that I wake up late, if I can, and I know at some point I've got to take the dog out.
I have a wide vocabulary.
I studied English at university. I'm a trained journalist, so I agree. In fact, I strongly agree.
Depends how wide the vocabulary is, doesn't it? You know, if it's is, and, can, will, when, then it's all right. If it's like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, then maybe not.
I think you mean supercalifragilistic. Oh, never mind. You're probably right the first time. Still to come, more intriguing answers.
I have done some morally reprehensible things.
And our celebrity psych tester reveals the results.
You believe that success should be earned through blood, sweat and tears.
When somebody just does it on an easy, quick win, kind of pisses you off.
This is Celebrity Psych Test. Anna Richardson and Dame Kelly Holmes are answering a series of questions designed to give us an insight into who they really are.
There is never a good reason to lie.
Agree, it's never really a good reason to lie.
Obviously, there's a good reason to lie. White lies can be a good thing, and I think that if you're telling a lie, it is in order to protect somebody else rather than to protect yourself.
I only do things when I am positive they are morally right.
You know, I'm a woman that's been around the block, let's face it. I have done some morally reprehensible things, but I like to think that I'm on the straight and narrow now. But, you know, give the right circumstances, I can be bent slightly.
I spend a lot of time just thinking about things.
Disagree, I just get on and do them because I don't have much thinking space.
I spend a fair amount of time analysing things, feelings, conversations. If there's been any kind of conflict, then yes, I would think about that. I can spend a lot of time in my head, yeah, agree.
I often leave things lying around instead of putting them back where they belong.
I'll go in with a bag and then it's late at night, that bag goes. The next morning I have to go again and I haven't got time to empty that bag, so I go and get other bits and bits out. And by the time I've got there, end of the week, there's 5 bags with all different things in and nothing is in the place it should be. But I do push them into the corner so it doesn't look so bad.
I don't think I leave things lying around. My other half leaves things everywhere. She will drop her pants on the floor, her mobile phone, her keys, the dog, whatever it is. I'll always say, look, put them back into their home.
Test complete.
Thank you very much, it was fascinating.
I quite enjoyed it. Just felt like I was chit-chatting though.
For me, it actually brought up lots of stuff about my childhood maybe that I was kind of questioning. It's thought-provoking.
Our psych tester, Lee, has been analysing their answers and compared them to thousands of other people worldwide who've taken the test.
I hope he's nice. He's not going to be, is he? Is he? Do you know what? I don't care. I'm OK with who I am.
It looks at 6 personality traits, including how emotionally stable they are.
You're quite relaxed and an emotionally stable person. You suggest you struggled in the past.
Oh, yeah.
And you've developed some really great coping strategies.
Yes. Anxiety runs very deeply within my family. But also certain things have happened to me. I was robbed in my hotel room, so I woke up in the middle of the night, there were 2 men. at the end of my bed. And I think as a result, I probably had a little bit of PTSD. And I've had to learn to get well. I feel now, at the age of 46, that I have a toolkit around me, and I know how to get well.
The test suggests that Callie has also learnt to deal with her stress, but prefers a different approach to Anna.
You manage your emotions well and you're pretty calm and relaxed. Do you have any coping mechanisms in place when the going gets tough?
If I don't do something, I get really bored and down, and, you know, that's when I'm at my worst, when I've got nothing to think about. You know, I want to live my life thinking I've done something with it, positive, or, you know, that I've achieved it.
Yeah.
So because of that, I just, you know, carry on.
The test also looks at how conscientious our celebrities are.
You're much more of a by-the-book person. So you are organised, methodical, efficient.
God, really am I? I'm so dull. Sue would say that I'm domestically controlling. I sort of need it to be in place and in order, and the washing done, and where is everything, which drives her nuts because she's a lot more sort of random. But yes, I own that.
Compared to Anna, the results suggest that Callie is much more of an impulsive person.
So you're quite spontaneous, you like to go with the flow. People with these characteristics, they can be a bit forgetful and a little bit messy.
It's literally having the time to sort the next thing out, filing something, putting something away.
Paperwork.
Yeah. I just get so much stuff all the time, you know, and then that bag's going to stay there for another week.
Anna also comes out as someone who's passionate about new ideas.
You're also a very curious person, inventive, creative and open to new experiences.
The idea of brainstorming new ideas with a team of people gets me, you know, quite sort of, gets my dander up. I get excited about that. The one thing that has really surprised me is that I'm more of a by-the-book person. I'm worried that that makes me really dull.
But you're an extrovert and you've got all of these amazing ideas. You're not boring at all.
But the fact I'm by the book, come on, Anna.
For Callie, the world is definitely a place where you're rewarded for good, old-fashioned hard work.
So you seem to have a positive outlook on the world and you believe that success should be earned through blood, sweat and tears. And I guess being an athlete, I can see why that's really important to you.
When people want success, it's got to be like, you've got to get to the end and go, yeah, I did that. You know, when I stand on a rostrum, it's everything that you ever want. And then when somebody just does it on an easy, quick win, it kind of pisses you off.
Out of our 6 personality traits, Anna's standout results suggest that she's very good at managing stress and anxiety, that she's very organised and efficient, and that she's highly creative with a great passion for new ideas. Compared to others who've taken the test, like Anna, Callie copes well with life's ups and downs. But unlike Anna, she's more spontaneous and impulsive. She also believes passionately that achievements have to be earned and there's no place for shortcuts. Now they've heard the feedback, what do our celebs think about their results?
They said that I'm calm. I kind of am most of the time. Obviously, people don't always see me in the stress-out mood because I do that on my own. When I'm effing and blinding and running and I've missed the bloody train, then there's a different side of me.
I'm going to definitely work on the by the book. I'm going to throw that out the window and I'm going to become a far more spontaneous, interesting, creative person from now on.
Sitting in the chair today, it's ex-EastEnder and jumper on the jump, Joe Swash.
I don't mind if I come out being like a bit of a psycho. Maybe not a psycho, maybe like a little bit weird.
And he's joined by pop sensation and fellow jumper, Sunita.
I think people who don't know me usually expect me to be quite loud. I'm quite big as well physically. And maybe overbearing.
Time for our celebs to settle in and reveal what makes their minds tick.
Are you ready to take the test?
Yes.
Yes, I am.
Other people's problems don't interest me at all.
Ooh, I strongly disagree with that. I'm very interested in other people's problems because I think I see myself as a problem solver, probably better at solving other people's problems than my own.
Other people's problems do interest me. Sometimes they play on my mind and I feel guilty about it. I sort of always put myself in other people's shoes. But then again, I do struggle with empathy with things because, I don't know, I've become a bit hard to things. So I'm going to stay down the middle with neutral.
There is never a good reason to lie.
My age. That's a good reason to lie because people judge you by how old you are. So I like that to be a grey area. And I'm convinced that people don't know whether I'm 45 or 55, but I like that.
I find it easy to sympathise with other people's feelings.
I'd say neutral for that. I mean, there's been stuff that's happened to me as a child. I've lost one of my parents and I've grieved over things really early on that. Things like death and stuff like that, I find hard to be sympathetic. I'm quite stony about things like that. It's just like, I don't like people crying around me. I've always hated people crying around me. So sometimes I can be unsympathetic towards other people's feelings.
Putting absolute trust in someone can only end in tears.
No, I don't want to believe that. No. I strongly disagree with that.
I don't think you should put absolute trust in anyone. You've always got to hold a little bit back. I think you've always got to leave yourself enough space to look after your own and to look after yourself.
I get bothered by things quite easily.
I agree with that. Things do bother me quite easily. Someone eating crisps really, really noisily. I feel like they're doing it to get on my tits. I've got quite bad road rage. Little things can drive me insane.
I would rather be honest and modest than be a liar and a success.
Strongly agree. I've had lots of temptation and lots of opportunities for all kinds of things, especially when you're going through certain things in life and you're struggling and you haven't got enough money or you haven't got enough this or whatever. That, you know, I've sort of thought, oh gosh, you know, I should have done this and I should have done that. But to be honest, you know what? I sleep well at night.
I prefer to have a solid plan rather than improvise things as I go.
I do like to have a solid plan, but I do tend to improvise in a lot of things that I do. For example, a flat pack. I might get some flat pack furniture and I will try and build it just from the picture. Instead of getting the book out and doing it properly, following the plan, I end up trying to copy this picture, doing it off my own back, and then end up with like a bit missing or too many bits. And I never tend to learn my lesson. Neutral, please.
Obviously, it's always great if you can have a plan, but I'm also someone who has a plan and they will suddenly go a completely different direction.
I have a wide vocabulary.
I'm going to say neutral because I think I do have a wide vocabulary.
Yeah.
But I've lived with toddlers and young people for so long, I feel like I have dumbed down my vocabulary a lot so that I can be sure they understand.
It's wide enough. Yeah, I agree.
I think most successful people lead upstanding, principled lives.
I strongly disagree because I know so many really successful people who are, you know, you would just think, look, if behaving is the key to success, like how on earth have they become so successful? So yeah, I strongly disagree.
I think I strongly disagree with that. I think a lot of successful people are not upstanding. Usually people with authority, people with a lot of power over other people tend to abuse it. They do tend to say you need to tread on a lot of people on your way up.
Still to come, Sunita indulges in some self-diagnosis.
What's it called? Is it called OCDC?
And Joe gets some frank feedback from Lee.
You're edgy, have trouble controlling your emotions and find it really hard to relax.
This is Celebrity Psych Test. where pop princess Sunita...
Can I say anal?
...and this cheeky chappie...
Hello, all right? I'm Joe Swash.
...are taking a psychological test designed to give us a glimpse inside their minds.
I often leave things lying around instead of putting them back where they belong.
When I come home, you know exactly where I've been because you'll just see the pattern, the trail of clothes leading to the room that I ended up in. So I strongly agree with that.
I strongly disagree with that. If things aren't in place, I think I can't relax properly. I'll kind of have to sort of get up and fix it, which I know sounds a bit... What's it called? Is it called OCDC or something like that?
I have a sharp tongue.
I grew up in a family where we can be quite harsh with each other, and I've grown up that way, and sometimes you can do that to other people that haven't, and they're a little bit like, oh, they take it to heart. And I've got to remember that not everyone grew up in a house where you could scream and shout at each other and drop it the next day. So I'd agree with that.
Test complete.
Hey!
Yay!
Let's find out if I'm a psycho, eh?
I'm sure I've revealed a lot of things that are really new because I don't think anyone's ever spoken to me like this before that wasn't a close friend, really.
I let people think I'm one sort of person, bubbly, outgoing, smiley, not caring the world, but really, deep down, I've got all those issues and insecurities.
Our psych tester, Lee, has been watching and analysing our guests' responses. The test focuses on 6 key personality traits and has been taken by thousands of people around the world.
Hey, Joe.
The first trait Lee wants to feed back on is their emotional stability.
You're very good at managing your emotions and coping with the everyday stresses of your life. You are aware of when things do stress you out or irritate you, and you internalise that and keep them feelings to yourself.
Is that a good thing, or what do you think?
People deal with stress in different ways, and this sounds like this is one of your coping mechanisms.
Do you know, I think it's that thing of sort of not wanting to behave badly in public because you're used to being watched and you want to be professional and, you know, you don't want to be branded the crazy, screaming diva.
While Sunita seems to be in control of her emotions, Joe's emotions appear to be in control of him.
So the test results have shown that you are very up and down. So this means you're edgy, have trouble controlling your emotions and find it really hard to relax.
Yeah, pretty much. I agree with that.
That must get quite exhausting sometimes.
There's obviously a better way of controlling your emotions, so it's something I need to work on.
The next character trait Lee is picking up on is how organised their lives are.
You really do like to do things by the book. You're well organised, you know where everything is, and you pay great attention to detail.
Yes. Is that good, or is that, what you call it, like, how do you say it, OCDC?
It's not a judgment, it's just a character trait of yours. You're a very busy woman, you've got a family, you've got a career, and you need that plan in place to give yourself that permission to experience that free flow.
Yeah, that's how it feels. But
Absolutely.
Just every time I said it, I started to think, oh gosh, this sounds like you know, like I'm obsessively controlled,
Not
you know,
at
or
all.
something.
It sounds like you've got a good balance, actually, because you're allowing yourself to feel that free flow as well.
Joe's life seems a little more chaotic.
You are very off the cuff. And that would suggest that you're impulsive, you're easygoing, you're very flexible. And just a couple of things you said about being messy. There's a trail of clothes from...
You see exactly where I've been.
Yeah.
Is that a good thing, being off the cuff?
The more extreme off the cuff would be sloppy, forgetful, unreliable.
Right.
So I'm not saying that you are you're there.
I own all of them to a certain degree, yeah.
So maybe this is something that you...
Need to work on. Pull in a little bit. I automatically took that as a good thing. But when you think about it, it's probably not a good thing. That's a good one, I like that. That's opened my eyes to it.
When it comes to how she views the world and other people, Lee found Sunita to be cautiously optimistic.
You believe in the goodness of the world. You're aware of the games that some people play, but you choose not to play and stick to your own morals and values.
Yeah, 100%.
How does that sound?
That's exactly it. I still believe that you can still win the game and play it straight, but, you know, maybe that's naive, but I think it's better to be naive and happy, you know.
And authentic as well.
Yeah.
I think authenticity seems to be important to you
Yes.
as well.
Yeah.
Whilst Joe has a real sympathy for others, it seems his challenging childhood has left him as a bit of a tough cookie.
You don't like people crying around?
No, I can't stand people crying around me. I think it's a throwback for when my dad passed away when I was a kid. I grew up in a house where my mum and my sisters would be mourning, and I couldn't be around it. I didn't want to be around it, I didn't want to see it. And as I've got older, I've still got that. I'm uncomfortable when people are crying around me.
Because it's quite a contradiction, isn't it, I think?
Yeah.
But maybe that's why, actually, when I think about it, maybe it's too much for you to bear. If you're
Don't
really
want to be
feeling...
around it, yeah. I'm like, I can't do tears or crying.
The overall results suggest that Sunita stands out as being highly emotionally stable, a real people person, and very in control of her life. By contrast, Joe comes out as emotionally volatile, which makes him less accommodating of other people, whilst his day-to-day life is bordering on the chaotic. Having taken the test and heard the feedback, what do our guests make of their results?
Everyone knows who they are, who they think they are, but it's nice for someone else to kind of have a little dig around and pull bits out that you didn't think were there.
I loved the way he was able to actually really see the real me so quickly without actually knowing me at all.
Who's facing questions in the chair today? It's Towie Wowie, Chloe Sims.
The media portrays my personality as a typical Essex girl, airhead, only worried about looks.
And entrepreneur turned reality star, Jonathan Cheban.
Other people will describe me as like an asshole. I think that, I'm really stuck up and I'm obnoxious, which I'm actually not. I'm just me.
Yes, but what will the test say about you, Jonathan? Take a seat, celebrities. Your time has come.
Are you ready to take the test?
I'm ready.
Yes.
Most people have their hearts in the right place.
I would say agree. Most people do have their hearts in the right place, except we've got lots of different beliefs, and maybe that's why we don't all get on.
I disagree. I think most people are full of crap, and it's not about their hearts anymore. I think these days everything is so fast and moving that all people want to do is worry about getting Instagram followers. Like, no one really has a heart anymore.
People are naturally lazy and only put in the effort when forced to.
Strongly disagree. I know lots of people that are not lazy. I'm lazy.
Almost everyone, I think, is lazy. If they didn't have to do anything, they wouldn't, except the people that wake up at 5 a.m. to go running and go to the gym. Those people are insane.
I can't be doing with discussions about the meaning of life.
I'm open to listening to people's opinions on the meaning of life.
Unless it's God coming down to talk about the meaning of life, I literally don't want to hear it. I mean, there's no one that's going to tell me about the meaning of life. It will be very awkward because I don't give a fuck.
I often worry about things.
Well, I worry about my daughter. If I'm in a car, I'm worried that something's going to happen, like an accident or something. I can worry right down to even taking a tablet.
I agree. I feel like if you don't worry, you're not human. You have to worry to keep getting better and better. If you stop worrying, then you'll never progress.
I make people feel relaxed and at ease.
I disagree with that. I feel like for some reason I don't make people feel relaxed and at ease. I don't know why. And it's really the opposite, because I want them to be relaxed and at ease and have fun with me. But people definitely get a little bit intimidated sometimes.
It doesn't take much to get me upset.
I would agree. Social media can upset me. Press upsets me when they say stuff that's not right. Even down to watching singing competitions and reality shows that can make me cry.
Everyone breaks the law. Criminals are the ones who are dumb enough to get caught.
I strongly disagree. I don't think everybody breaks the law.
Everyone breaks the law a little bit. Driving fast, speeding, talking on their phones. Criminals are idiots, and they 99% get caught. Almost everyone these days gets caught. It's almost impossible, so I agree.
I get lost if people start talking about philosophy or complex ideas.
I strongly agree because I've got no idea what any of that means.
I just don't care about anyone's philosophy or their ideas. I just literally don't care. I don't want to hear people's stories. I instantly I'm out.
Well, you can't leave just yet, Jonathan, because there's more personality test fun still to come.
I told a girl to take off this horrible dark lipstick she had yesterday because it was making me sick.
Including even more amazing answers.
I'm being really honest here, but I might promote things that I say really, really work and they might not.
And our psych test reveals the results.
People like this tend to have conflicted relationships and can often fall out with people.
This is Celebrity Psych Test. Chloe Sims.
Sorry, that's my alarm.
And Jonathan Cheban
Are you allowed to curse here?
are answering a series of questions as we try to reveal their true personalities.
I get stressed out easily.
Yeah, I do get stressed out quite quickly. Driving, travelling, people, work, loads of things.
Basically anything stresses me out. No foam in my cappuccino. The pillow sheets are too hard. Any little thing that starts, if I order food and it comes well done, when I ordered it medium rare, little things will stress me out bigger than big things because I'm always how can you not figure that out?
I often leave things lying around instead of putting them back where they belong.
Disagree. I hate mess.
I leave stuff laying around all the time. My apartment in New York, I'm so lazy. I don't like to hang up clothes. I don't like to do anything. I have thousands of racks of jackets and stuff. So I like to leave stuff lying around. It's not a great thing.
Brown-nosing powerful people is a good idea.
When I'm in social situations where they call it schmoozing people, I suppose I do have to be overly interesting and friendly to certain people because that's how I get my work.
I find the easiest way to deal with people is to tell them what they want to hear.
Oh, I strongly disagree. I don't tell anybody what they want to hear. I'm the complete opposite. I like to tell them the bad stuff. I just can't hold it in. It's definitely an issue. I like to tell people the truth, and if I hate something they're wearing, or I told a girl to take off this horrible dark lipstick she had yesterday because it was making me sick. So I'm just straight to the point. I literally sit there, I try to hold it in, and then it comes out.
I only do things when I am positive they are morally right.
I disagree with that. It's not about always morally right. So, I do things when I feel like I'm right, not morally right.
Sometimes in the work that I do, I might promote, I'm being really honest here, but I might promote things that I say really, really work and they might not.
I have a sharp tongue.
I agree. I try to keep my sharp tongue in my mouth, but if I'm set off, someone's gonna get it real good. A day ago, at a hotel, I was waiting for toothpaste for 45 minutes, and I just flipped. Don't make me wait 45 minutes for toothpaste. It's a hotel, it's a service.
I prefer to have a solid plan rather than improvise things as I go.
I do follow my own schedule, but it's definitely not well organised. I just do my own thing most of the time.
I kind of like to plan everything. I like to have everything down to the minute on a schedule. I hate people that are late. So improvising means people will not show up and things can go wrong, and I do not like that.
I start conversations.
Around people I know in my work situation, yeah, I do start conversations.
Disagree. I don't like to start conversations. I'm never the first one. If I get introduced to somebody, I'll have a conversation, but I do not go up to people ever and start conversations. It's just not my nature, not in my DNA.
Test complete.
I found the test pretty easy. I mean, I'm pretty honest and pretty fast with stuff. I didn't have to really think about it. It's like what came out of my head.
I found it confusing.
These are pretty basic questions. Anybody should be able to answer those if they're a normal person, unless they have something to hide.
I'm really not sure what to expect from the results, and almost a bit nervous because it might be like you don't know yourself as well as you think you do.
Our Psych test has been analysing their answers and compared them to thousands of people worldwide who've taken the test. It looks at 6 personality traits. First up is how they view the world and the people in it.
You have an extremely sceptical worldview and are very untrusting in other people. You believe in the power of manipulation and see its value when getting on in the world.
I'm a realist, so you have to be a little bit. You got to work your way in. You got to do stuff. So you just have to learn how to do it right.
Chloe, however, sees the world in quite a different way.
You believe in the goodness of the world. You've got a strong moral code and very trusting.
I know that I'm like that, and I'm trying not to be.
Right.
I don't want to be like that, because I've always said you should trust people until they give you a reason not to. But one of my close friends says that you should trust people when they give you a reason to.
If you look at the more negative aspects of being too trusting, maybe some people can take advantage of you.
Even as simple as just letting you down. The discussion I was having with my friend, he was like, see, I told you, like, that person, you know, was going to let you down.
The test also looks at friendliness, and it's fair to say Jonathan isn't exactly what you'd call a people person.
Your results suggest that you're a tough cookie. This can imply that you are suspicious, competitive, and have less empathy for other people.
Yeah, it's just part of life. You got to be a little suspicious. Can't have too much empathy because no one has empathy back. So you just got to keep it going.
You can be brutally honest sometimes. And does that conflict with your relationships, the way you were able to tell someone who had, was it burgundy lipstick, that it's making me feel
This girl had black lipstick on her face. It looked terrible. She looked like a freaking walking corpse yesterday. So I was like, you got to get that off. I literally can't look at you looking like this. It's freaking me out.
Chloe's results show she's a little more approachable than Jonathan.
Your overall personality comes out as very outgoing and friendly. A tough cookie, but at the same time, a big softie as well. You like your kind of people, but are much less interested in people outside of your social group.
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I can be a total grump. I've got a business in Essex, and sometimes I'll be really on form and be like, hello, where are you from? Da, 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 da. Sometimes I don't speak because I just haven't got the energy to give that person, and I probably could appear to be a bit shut down and rude, but it's just that that day I'm just not in the mood.
The test also suggests that Jonathan likes to do things by the book.
You're very conscientious and rely heavily on organisation to get you through your hectic lifestyle.
Yeah, organization is what makes the world go around.
People like this tend to be dependable and very hardworking. Although can be seen by others as stubborn and controlling.
Yeah, no, I'm not stubborn. I like to be on time and I want other people to be on time.
That can be sometimes the danger when we try and the things that are important to us and we measure other people against what we think's right.
Probably, yeah. I can't measure everyone against my standards.
Yeah.
So.
The danger of measuring people by your own very high standards can be we can be left disappointed.
Right, I've learned that. Yeah. So I only find friends the same standards.
And if they don't reach them, they do.
Out of our 6 personality traits, Jonathan's standout results suggest that he has less empathy for others than most people, that he's efficient and organised, and that he's sceptical about the world and the people in it. Compared to Jonathan, Chloe comes out as much friendlier and far warmer than he does, as more spontaneous and impulsive than him, that she's much more trusting and sees far more goodness in people than he does. What do our celebrities think about their results?
I think this is fun and I enjoyed myself. It's totally different. I like getting analyzed.
I accept the result because I do believe that that's true, but I will, it's not like I'm going to walk out of here and be like, oh, I don't trust anybody. Do you know what I mean? I'm just going to bear it in mind still.
Who's taking the challenge in the chair today? Darling of Celebrities Go Dating, Tom Reed Wilson.
I'm pretty glass half full, very Panglossian, full of vim and vigour, really.
And Corrie's Jenny McAlpine.
People think I'm like Fizz, but Fizz went to prison, you see, and she married a murderer, and I didn't do that. So, you know, there is a line.
Well, we'll see what the test has to say, shall we, Jenny? Sit yourselves down and strap yourselves in.
This is very comfy.
Are you ready to take the test?
I am ready to take the test.
Oh, lovely.
It's always best to tell the truth in every situation.
Oh, I'd probably go agree, unless it's how do I look, and the answer is fabulous.
I strongly disagree. Everybody says, oh, I'm just being honest, as though that is the greatest virtue. No, manners are more important. In fact, manners are the lubricant for the world.
Putting absolute trust in someone can only end in tears.
No, I think that's a horrible way to live. I trust people. If it all goes wrong, it all goes wrong, but I trust people. So I would strongly disagree with that.
Oh, no, I strongly disagree with you. All the greatest things in life I've found are, alas, the things that make you most vulnerable.
I am the life and soul of the party.
I'm not the person at the party around which the party orbits, but I might have a star turn at the party. But you see, I'm also a guest at a party that thoroughly enjoys other people's star turns. So I couldn't say strongly agree. It would just have to be agree.
I don't like being the centre of attention.
I went and got married at the beginning of this year, and we just went, me, my husband, and my little boy, that was it. The idea of being the centre of attention in the big white dress made me feel a bit sick.
Everyone breaks the law. Criminals are the ones who are dumb enough to get caught.
No, I disagree. I think most people try not to break the law, don't they? Am I really naive?
Well, I have a confession to make. I used to, on a 6-monthly basis, shove a dark chocolate bounty up my sleeve just to keep my hand in. But now I've completely lost my nerve. I can't do that anymore. I mean, I don't condone it, and I am ashamed. Neutral.
I believe most people are courageous.
I strongly agree with that. At Corrie, we've done some interesting stories, and the storyline that we did about Fizz's little girl having cancer, I went round to meet little children who were in hospital in the most horrible circumstances. There was some of the bravest, most incredible people I'd ever met.
I work on the assumption most people have a nasty side which they will reveal at some point.
Definitely not. Strongly disagree. What an horrible way to be waiting for all your friends to reveal that they're really horrible and they hate you. Oh, dear.
Strongly disagree. So my favourite term of endearment is honeybee, because I have a philosophy that the whole world is divided into honeybees and wasps. You see, you might meet lots of honeybees that are very in touch with their sting, and they like to wave their sting around and say, look at my big sting. But really, you know they're a honeybee. And I think you might meet one wasp in a lifetime, but they're very, very rare. So I strongly disagree with you.
There are more stinging questions still to come for our guests.
I get upset when I'm bored, so I can cry when I'm bored.
And our psych tester reveals those all-important results.
You were extremely trusting. It can leave you open to be manipulated.
Yes.
This is Celebrity Psych Test. Tom Reed-Wilson.
You're judging me, you've gone all quiet.
And Jenny McAlpine.
I know people who have wider, and I certainly know people who have narrower.
Are responding to a series of statements as we try to unmask their true personalities.
I like using long words.
No. Disagree.
I do, and particularly in arguments, because it's quite satisfying to be wildly insulting and the other person not really know how rude you're being.
I think most people who use long words use them to try and sound more intelligent than they are.
There's something really physically delicious about long words as well. They get into the darkest caverns of your mouth, and it's actually a physical sensation. I strongly agree.
I am always forgetting where I put things.
Strongly agree. Always. And I also find things in funny places, like the remote control in the fridge. That's happened more than once.
I lose my dental floss every day, and I don't know where I put it because I don't think it ever leaves the bathroom. So then you think in a tiny room like this, I have a very little bathroom, so I don't know how I manage it. In fact, it's when the odds are stacked against me in terms of losing things that I tend to do it the most.
I'm not good at coming up with new ideas.
I'm much better, by and large, at being a positive component of some brilliant person's greater, intricate idea than being the source of ideas.
It doesn't take much to get me upset.
Strongly agree. I cry at films and telly and adverts and songs and anything, really. I tell you when else I get upset when I'm bored. So I can cry when I'm bored. I cried when I watched James Bond because I was so bored.
I look at Klimt's The Kiss and I'll cry. I watch An Affair to Remember and I'll cry. I hear Omi Ababino Kano and I cry. Ella Fitzgerald and I cry. So it doesn't take much to make me emotional. But then you could also read it as, do you have a thick skin? And I'm not desperately thin-skinned. I agree. I was brutally candid, I think, even about my sort of flirtations with kleptomania.
That's the hardest TV interview I've ever done. I'm more confused than when I started.
Our psych tester Lee has been monitoring their responses and analysing them alongside thousands of other people who've taken the test. It looks at 6 personality traits, including how extroverted our celebrities are.
Although you're a chatty person, you don't like being centre of attention. You see your job as an actor as playing a role rather than using it to seek attention.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. Yeah, I see it as just, playing a role. Certainly people can want to become actors to become famous.
Yes.
But that is a pretty tricky road because, most actors I know aren't famous. I got a job 4 episodes when I was 17. I'd been going to loads of other auditions and I was going to go back to my job in Boots.
So you're doing it for the craft rather than the celebrity that came from... Yeah.
Tom, on the other hand, is much more of an outgoing person.
The test results indicated that you were a massive show-off. You love being around other people, you love meeting people. You suggested when you're at a party you like to go around introducing yourself to people.
I do it in spite of shyness.
Yeah.
It's almost like there's a rickety bridge with this wonderful meadow beyond it, and I think, well, I'm not going to let this silly bridge stand in the way. I want to play in the meadow, so I'll go.
The test also looks at how creative our celebrities are, and Jenny comes out as very cautious when it comes to new ideas.
People like this are less inclined to hold extreme views and more likely to enjoy mainstream entertainment.
I love mainstream entertainment. I watch and have been on most quiz shows. I love them. I love reality television. I love other things too, though. And I get cross at people who think that you can either be a Question Time viewer or a Big Brother viewer and you can't be both. Well, I am both.
The results suggest that Tom is much more creative than Jenny, but that he too can be cautious when it comes to original ideas.
And what came through for me was you seem to be really interested in people's ideas.
Yeah.
But when it comes to your own ideas,
That's true. I don't have that faith in my own ideas.
Right. So the ideas are there, but you're holding them back and you're being cautious with those ideas. Would it be safe to say that?
I think that's too flattering. I don't think they're there in the first place.
All right.
The test also scores for friendliness, and Jenny's results indicate that she's a very warm and caring person.
You're very compassionate, sympathetic and in touch with other people's feelings.
Well, now you've said it, because it is hard to describe yourself before someone else describes you. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I'm just wondering why.
Because you sound, like, really big-headed to say, I'm dead compassionate, mate. I care about people. Oh, I'm really sensitive. It's just, you sound like a big head.
Yeah. So it's that northern humbleness, isn't it?
Probably.
Yeah.
It's something northern in me.
Tom's responses show he always sees the best in people and has real faith in human nature.
So your test results showed that you were extremely trusting. In its extreme form, it can leave you open to being taken advantage of and possibly being manipulated.
Yes. In the test, there was a question that summed that up. I'm paraphrasing, but it was something like, do you think it's worth it to get bruised? And that's really my mantra for life, is that you go out into the world knowing that you will, really, or knowing that you might well, because the things that you care most about are the things that make you most vulnerable. Yes, you might get very hurt, you might, but what's the other option? Being a hermit and not ever putting your head above the parapet, I think.
From the 6 personality traits tested, Tom's standout results suggest that he loves to be the centre of attention, that he's creative, but often prefers to be part of other people's ideas rather than his own. And he's extremely trusting in the world and the people in it, which may sometimes leave him vulnerable to those who don't live up to his expectations. Despite being an actor who's familiar to millions, Jenny comes out as someone who'd rather avoid the limelight whenever she can, that she's very warm and friendly with a lot of time for others, but that she's less open to new ideas than Tom. They've heard the results. Now, what do they think about what they've learned?
I don't know if I can do anything about probably the biggest thing that's come out of it, which is that I'm not very good at describing myself. Do you know what? I'm really caring and dead empathetic. I'm dead kind me. I don't think so.
I think I've discovered more accurately what my warts are. But I think the big lesson today is to love myself, warts and all.